So this video, we're going to talk about updating stock levels as they're associated with batch trackable items. So batch trackable items is part of a functionality that we have available on a higher tiered subscription plan from the Essentials. So it's available on advanced and above subscriptions. And so for batch trackable items, which would include any item in your stock that has the batch tracking feature turned on. So for example, we would take this Brazilian roasted coffee pack and activate it as I track batch and lot numbers. By doing so, this allows you to assign batches to specific quantities of inventory for that item. So in the last video, assuming that you had no batch tracking activated, you can actually update all of your stock levels in bulk so everything is correctly up to date. And then after you have activated batch tracking for specific products or materials, you can then allocate specific amounts of quantities from your unbatched quantities to batched quantities for traceability reasons. So this would be essentially critical for businesses that are operating in the industries where batch tracking is required for the products that you buy and manufacture. So to show how this works, now that we've activated this for at least one of our products or materials, from the settings page in the data import section, there will be this available area called add new batch and lot numbers. Now this is only visible if you're using the advanced and above subscriptions. And to use this functionality, it would download the data of all of the existing items in your Katana account that are currently batch trackable. So we've only ticked off one product that had 3 variations in it, so we should only receive a downloaded data copy that contains those. So here we go. Now, when using this template, you're going to see a list of all of your batch trackable items. And if you need to create new batches for your existing stock, then this is the template you can do that with. Now, to do this efficiently, the way that it has to be done is I'll show you the different columns we have here to give you a general idea. All right, perfect. So what we would want to do to add batches for these specific items is we can copy one row of this data and paste it below here and actually allocate a specific amount of units to a specific batch number. So I can create a batch number here and call this one, let's say, batch -001. And then I can allocate an initial stock quantity of, let's say, 50 units to it. And that initial stock cost per unit might be, let's say, $2 per unit. And then what I will do in this case is actually import the existing stock quantity from my unbatched amounts into my new batches, so that way this 50 units will be allocated to a specific batch of roasted coffee, in this case the 250 pack. So I'll save this real quick and we will do a test run on importing that information into our batch number import. So we'll upload the data. Should be this one here. I'll open. So it'll analyze the data and it will tell me that my batch import has been completed. So inside of the stock screen, you will see here a list of batches that are presently in our stock. This includes unbatched quantities and batched quantities. Now, currently, the unbatched quantity that we have is 331 pieces. So what we did was, if we take a look at our Excel file, you'll see that we had 381 pieces from the exported amount that we got from downloading our data. And then when we created this new batch, we actually put the total quantity in that batch. And what Katana is doing in the background is taking from the unbatched amount and applying that 50 units to a specific batch. So the total inventory is still the same, but the difference is we can now specify that we have 50 in this batch, and then we have 300 and was it 31 currently in unbatched category. So anytime you need to add new batches, you can take from your unbatched quantities and associate a batch number to it in order to identify the total quantity of batches that are associated with that particular batch number. So after you do your final stock count before going live, you then will need to associate or understand how many products or materials are in each batch number that you currently have allotted, and then download this data, add the lines of batch information per variant, and then import it so that way you have them now up to date. As we're going through this specific import of batch data when you're allocating stock quantities, another thing I would like to mention is what you can also do with this particular spreadsheet as well when it comes to barcodes. Barcodes is also an advanced feature that we have available with our advanced and above subscription plans. And this enables you to assign a batch barcode if you're using the barcode functionality in Katana. So for example, if we were to do the same thing where we're adding additional batches to unbatched quantities, the data import section, we can download that data with our current information, and then you can see that the unbatched quantities that needed a batch assignment, if for example I copied that same one from here and I added it inside of here as well, and then created a batch barcode of, let's say, we'll just do 1000 and assign this as batch-002, and gave that a quantity of approximately, let's say, 30 units, then this would reduce the quantity from 331 to 311, 331 to 301, and then assign this batch number, batch 002, while also at the same time creating a batch barcode. Show you how that works. We'll go ahead and save this one as an example as well, which is batch numbers 3. Go into our Katana account, upload the data, and find batch numbers 3, and hit open. And when we go to check out batch 002, you'll see that we've also imported a barcode for that specific batch. So anytime we're scanning that item into for the consumption of it, either in a sales order or the consumption of it in bringing in an item that is going through manufacturing, for example, then this barcode will be associated with that from the inventory side. So it's just another way to use this particular spreadsheet to also assign not just the quantity from an unbatched amount to a batch number, but also to create the batch barcodes that would be associated anytime you're working with adding batches into your inventory after you've done a full cycle count of your existing products. So that in a nutshell is how you allocate and add batches to your unbatched products that need to have batch trackable numbers assigned to them.